Hi everyone. This is the PLT overview for the week of January 19th through the 22nd. We hope you had a good Monday off of work and that you're ready for a new week. On our PLT Canvas page, you'll notice we have our overview up here, and this video will be right under that in a few moments. The trainings this week are to update your grades and sync them in Canvas and Infinite Campus weekly. We'll look at that more in depth in a few moments. Call parents and guardians if students have not yet come to class or are not turning in assignments. Advisors, check to make sure students are submitting their grade check forms and look over them. And finally, make sure all class assignments and resources can be easily found on Canvas. This will help students that are isolating and quarantining. Advisory this week, on Tuesday, we will all be doing the same thing. The slides are already up. Thursday, each grade level has their own lesson, so make sure to look for those grade level lessons that will be published soon in Canvas. And finally, make sure you fill out that collaboration PLT checklist form so that we can answer questions for you and collaborate as a school. Also, don't forget our Zoom tutorials are underneath. They are a following module as well as important forms and links. They can all be found right here. So let's go to our weekly advisory or PLT overview. Some announcements this week. There's a school board meeting on Wednesday, January 20th at 7 p.m. if you'd like to watch it. Also, student-led conferences will be February 1st through the 26th. More information will be coming out through PLT and emails from Ben Jimenez. It will be the same format as last year. Next, continue to work on the learning assurance forms. They are required by the state. Please continue to get those forms from your students. Also, a reminder that the DLL contacts, which is Digital Learning Lab contacts, are Rod Robison at West Campus and Andy Castle at East Campus. Make sure to email them if any of your advisory students or any students are struggling with their DLL class. MVA, or the Manhattan Virtual Academy, some of your advisory students may be taking those classes, and if they have any problems, make sure to contact Brooke Blank and or Fanny Weefald. Lisa Julian has turned on the assignment enhancement feature in advisory class after testing it with her own students. They reported it was easier to submit work and see what had been submitted. Please let her know if you have any questions or if there are any problems. Our Canvas contact is Lisa Julian. Also, be mindful that the COVID vaccine form was sent out by Michelle Jones via email as a fillable form on January 7th and was forwarded to all of MHS by Mike Marsh. There are no dates on when we may get vaccines, but they want to be ready. Please review the email. The survey closes on January 21st. Mr. Dorse will have another email coming out with more information. Also, if you need to submit a grade change from the first semester, Mr. Joe Dentz in the front office must be notified. When making a name change, please have the following information for Mr. Dentz: the first and last name, student grade level, subject and hour of class, designate the first or second semester that the grade needs to be changed for, and what the current grade is that needs to be changed to. Finally, for our announcements, really important information. First, make sure all assignments and resources are in Canvas for availability when students are isolating or quarantining. Any alternative plan for assigning work, providing information, and returning work has to be clearly communicated to the students, parents, and guardians. There have been many comments about that by parents and students this last week. Also, take attendance at the beginning of the hour and fix any inaccuracies at the end of the hour. You'd be surprised how many students will show up to class if that notification from Infinite Campus goes home that they're absent. And finally, if a student shows up in your class and is marked as QCC or Quarantine Close Contact in Infinite Campus, they should be immediately sent to their grade level administrator and or nurse. Next, let's look at the trainings and tasks for this week. First, make sure you're updating your grades weekly and that they are being synced to Infinite Campus. It is very important that your grades are accurate in Infinite Campus, as that is what administrators, parents, and counselors can easily see. You may need to set up your Infinite Campus gradebook so that grades can sync. Here's a video from Mr. Dottie about how to set up your Infinite Campus gradebook. Next, make sure you've started calling parents and guardians if students have not yet come to class or are not turning in assignments. Always call first. However, if you want to communicate in addition to phone calls with emails, here's a video about sending emails via Infinite Campus to parents and students. Also, advisors, please check to make sure students are submitting their grade check forms. Also, quickly look over them, talk to struggling students and help them make a plan, and give positive feedback to student success. Finally, make sure all class assignments and resources can be easily found on Canvas. This will help students that are isolating and quarantining. Communicate to students and parents where to find assignments and resources in Canvas. Pro tip: when naming a module in Canvas, please put the date and the topic words. Here's an example: January 4th, equilibrium pricing. This will allow students to easily search via Control F the information for which they are looking. So if you have more information in the title of the module, that may really help your students find the assignment they need to complete. We've already talked about advisory, but just a reminder that Tuesday is going to be grade checks and reflection, and Thursday will be specific to each grade level. Freshmen will be looking at the growth mindset, sophomores will be completing or reviewing their career clusters and career explorations. Juniors will be talking about the ACTs and work keys tests, and seniors will be doing some senior planning. And finally, please remind students, during lunchtime, please sit according to the tape and chair locations. Do not move chairs. Once you get up and move, put your mask on immediately. Also, do not stand and eat. All of this, of course, is for their safety and for less transmission of the virus during lunchtime. Collaboration: make sure to fill out your PLT checklist form at some point before the end of every week to collaborate school-wide and keep a record of accountability for PLT. Here are the questions we had this week. Grading in Canvas? Well, if you're using Canvas, make sure that the syncing settings and features are correct in Infinite Campus and Canvas. Sync grades at a minimum once a week. All official grades are in Infinite Campus. And let us be clear, you may not be using Canvas to grade, but you must put your assignments on Canvas so that students have access. And your grades must be accurate in Infinite Campus. Secondly, Mr. Mall would like to know if anyone knows where to get equality instructions on the Sir Documents camera. So I don't know how to pronounce that word, but if you do, good for you, and you can phonetically send me an email that shows me how to say it. But more importantly, if you know how to use this type of camera and have information, please send it to Scott Mall. And finally, it says some of my 5th hour remote students have put their school picture in Zoom, and it's really nice. What instructions or process could we provide students so that everyone has their school picture attached to the Zoom, so we're not just looking at screens of names? The answer is encourage kids to post school-appropriate pictures on Zoom, if they would like. Most of us already know how to do this, so you can lead your kids through it if you would like, or they can help one another do that if they would like. Just make sure those are school-appropriate pictures. They may not have a digital copy of their actual school picture. Some comments this week. The advisory slides and daily announcements help keep me in the loop. Thanks, Jennifer Dixon, for that nice compliment to everyone doing those things. And a reminder, our first year and educators new to our school are doing great. Veteran educators, please reach out and assist those new educators around you. Lena Gruenbacher told us to go to edutopia.org because it has some great articles. Thanks, Lena. Rochelle Barr had the same idea and sent us an article from Edutopia. So feel free to look at that. It says 5 research-backed studying techniques. That might be really helpful for your kids in your class. And finally, Danny Grader made the comment that many schools that are in person have no contact tracing. This is a county health issue and not a school issue. Just to be clear, our district and schools work in conjunction in multiple counties in which our students reside to complete contact tracing. And here are Tell Us Something Good comments. Aaron Spear said, while scheduling has been a nightmare this year, I appreciate all the teachers and staff that have taken on overloads and new preps to help with the space and class options for our students. Kent Hildebrand said, I think my student teacher will make my life easier instead of more difficult this year. Andrea Platt said, happy to see my students in 3 times per week. This should help a ton. And then, students are in school 5 days a week. Next, Mary Hibb said she was really proud of how her students did while she was gone for 5 days starting the semester. Jennifer Dixon commented that Jenny Carr has been a fabulous help with Canvas and that has its quirks. She has spent her own time with me after school a few times. Thanks, Jenny. Matt Worley commented that my students are ecstatic about being back in person. And finally, Danny Grader said, I have been super impressed with our school nurses and the hours they're working. They have been tasked with an impossible job and are rocking it. Thanks for all of your comments, questions, and good comments too. Please continue to send those in and have a great week.